the Lagos State government environment has major talking points, both on the streets and online. In recent weeks, we've seen videos of refuse piling up in different parts of the state. Even on the show, we've complained about it. At the same time, the Lagos State Environment Task Force has been arresting residents for indiscriminate waste proposal. While many Lagosians blame the situation on the Lagos Waste Management Authority, others insist there's no excuse for turning our roads and neighborhoods into dumping grounds. So this morning, we are joined by the man at the center of this responsibility, Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin. He's the Managing Director and CEO of LAWMA. You can join this conversation and complain and rant. Call us on 020-1635-2012, or you can call us on 020-1635-2011. Tweet to us, comment on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. Now, the question to you, sir, is that the refuse are piling up on the streets of Lagos, and Lagosians are saying your ministry, your agency is to blame. What is your first response to this complaint, sir?
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. And good morning, Lagos. Well, our response is simple. When we talk about the environment, it's something that affects every single one of us. A clean environment is a prerequisite to good health. So it's a collective exercise. In the law in Lagos, every single resident is required to, number one, containerize their waste. That means you must have a bin in your house to keep your waste. Secondly, you must register with your PSP operator. That's the waste collection company assigned to your area. And thirdly, you must pay your bills on time so that those PSP operators can run their businesses and service you regularly. On the part of Lagos Waste Management Authority, where we are a regulatory authority, however, we have backup services. Wherever there is indiscriminate dumping or illegal dumping by those who decide to circumvent the law, we have capacity to clear that waste. And we also monitor the activities of the PSP operators. And one of the things that we say repeatedly to Lagosians is that even if you have issues with your waste collection, whether it's delay or the PSP operator is late, you can always reach out directly to LAWMA. And we have a variety of channels that we provided for that. And we can respond within 24 to 48 hours. So really, there's no excuse for people to dump their waste on the roadside. There was a time when people were bringing their waste to the median in Lagos, but that time is past. That is not the system. So what we're doing today is pleading with Lagosians to please stop bringing your waste to the median. We don't want it on the median.
Okay, let me ask why Lagos is still looking dirtier despite the enforcement. What do you think is the cause? Because I know that Lagos State is doing a lot to ensure that Lagos is cleaner, but it seems as if, as they are doing, it's getting dirtier. What do you think is the reason behind it? Well,
Lagos is in some ways a victim of its own success. We have the most advanced infrastructure in Lagos. It's the center of excellence. And you can see in the last few months, there's been rapid improvement in infrastructure with the commencement of services on the Blue Line a couple of years ago. The Red Line is also in operation, and we're already beginning work on the Green Line. So everybody wants to come to Lagos. Our projected population is, according to the State Bureau of Statistics, is 27 million. And I can tell you from our studies that 2 to 3 million of those people are living out in the open. So you have a large unaccounted population. They're living in shanties, they're living under bridges, they roam about on the roads. So that's a big contribution to some of the waste that you see on the street. Even on these streets that we're talking about, we have 1,000 routes that we're cleaning daily using our street sweepers. There's 16,000 of them. You can see them working every day, including Saturdays and Sundays. But you just have this large unaccounted population, and that's something that we need to address as a community. What do we do to provide and bring people from outside, from under the bridges, from shanties, so that they can be part of a structured waste collection system. And of course, part of the filth that you see is from people who still insist on indiscriminate waste dumping. They toss waste out of their windows. They're walking along and they drop waste on the road. And this is antisocial behavior. And we plead with people to stop. And if you see such activities, we also invite you to report them through our toll-free lines. And many of the enforcement activities you see by the Ministry of Environment, by Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps, that's KAI, is from reports from people like you. So you can report on 070-80-60-10-20. That's a direct line to LAWMA. It's a free phone call. And we'll respond. We'll come and do the investigation and we'll do the necessary arrests. Last year alone, we identified 1,070 waste infractions. Wow. 447 of them were taken for prosecution. Okay. In fact, one of the most egregious, I just want to finish on this because it's not just unaccounted people that are responsible for indiscriminate dumping. We caught a man who took a Honda SUV to Tinubu Fountain in Lagos Island, and his trunk was loaded with waste. He's currently serving a 13-month sentence at Kirikiri.
Okay, sir. Is LAWMA overwhelmed because, or has there been a system breakdown? It used to be the norm that, I had said on the show how I saw, LAWMA sweeping and clearing the median on the Badagry Expressway all the way to Abule-Ado at 12 midnight because I drove at the time. And every morning now I drive through Apapa from Bega, Monda Bridge to Koko. It's all littered by your left and right. It's everywhere. Those littered.
Women are no longer sweeping.
Is it that the system is overwhelmed or there's been a system breakdown?
You will explain where you are at 12 midnight.
Exactly. I was collecting my rice new. I was with my husband. Thanks a lot.
I mean, you were flying.
All right, sir. Over to you.
Yes, we have, from time to time, we experience capacity issues. The last few weeks is mainly because of the heavy rainy season. We haven't had a dry season. During the dry season is when we can do maintenance on the dump sites that we use for disposal of waste. And whenever there are queues at the dump sites, there's a ripple effect such that the PSV operators are not able to come on time. So we're experiencing that right now. But it's going to be, that will be resolved in the next few weeks. However, one of the challenges with waste management in Lagos is the infrastructure. We're in the process of upgrading infrastructure. I mentioned the dump sites. We're now decommissioning those dump sites and replacing them with transfer loading stations and material recovery facilities, which is a more modern mode of processing, treating, and disposing waste. Okay. In addition, we've signed MOUs for construction of waste-to-energy plants, which will enable us to dispose of waste in a clean, safe, and sustainable manner so that we won't need to have dump sites any longer. So yes, we may have some challenges, but you can be assured that Lagos being the center of excellence, we do not rest until we resolve those challenges. But that's not to say that people should feel that they can dump waste on the roadside. We don't want that. And like I said, reach out to us. We'll factor you into our backup collection system. Don't bring your waste to the median. I can't say that enough.
do you think that Lagos residents are being blamed unfairly?
In terms of
the dirting, the cause of the dirt?
Yeah, because, when you were making your comments earlier, you even mentioned the fact that, I know you've repeated putting the waste on the median. That we totally are against. But within my, I live in an estate. Within my estate, we had 2 days a week where refuse were being picked up. And the conversation online is that from the government side is, people are not managing their waste well. Well, they were supposed to pick it up twice in a week and they're not picking it up anymore. So we have people's front of their houses full of bin and we pay. So it's not a case of not paying. So do you believe that, like Wake asked, that residents are being unfairly blamed for the inefficiencies within LAWMA? No, PSPs.
No, well, it's not an issue of blaming. What we're trying to do is to inform people about what they can do when there are delays. Okay. I understand, and I always like to put myself in the place of the average resident. It's particularly annoying when you have your waste bin filled and overflowing, and no one is coming to collect it. That's why I'm putting us forward as LAWMA, that if you reach out to us, we will respond and we'll do something about it. You don't need to stress yourself too much. No matter where you are in Lagos, if you report to LAWMA 070-8060-1020, we will find a solution for you. So that's what we're saying. We're not trying to blame anyone.
Okay. I also wanted to ask, I mentioned the PSP. Now, the PSP has been in use across Lagos for several years. And the question is if they have outlived their usefulness, do we need to completely overhaul the system? And what are the possible evaluations that LAWMA is doing to manage the inefficiencies within PSP?
No, the PSP system has come to stay. They're doing a very, very difficult job under difficult conditions. So what we're doing is introducing ways or looking for ways to support the PSP operators to upgrade their infrastructure, to acquire new equipment. We want a standard in Lagos where we're using CNG or electric vehicle compactor trucks. And we're looking for ways to support them to be able to upgrade that system. In addition, we are introducing transfer loading stations and material recovery facilities to improve their turnaround time so that they can work faster and clear your waste on schedule as supposed to be on paper. If we don't make those necessary investments, we'll continue to experience challenges. And yes, when we're talking about overhaul, that doesn't mean that we want to get rid of the system. We want to improve it. And you can tell from the Themes Plus agenda of the state government, that plus is inclusivity. That means we want to carry everyone along. We're going to have a process of review of the waste management laws in the state so that the public and every stakeholder will be able to contribute to that. We're starting that from next month so that in the next 6 months, you should have a new system. And of course, we'll be coming on here to talk more about that as we go along.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to ask that as well. What is LAWMA doing more to ensure that they have a seamless activity? And I wanted to know if there are more things in store for us. Are you trying to get more trucks in? How are you revamping the structure specifically? What's more are you adding to what you've already mentioned that LAWMA is already doing? Absolutely.
One of the things that we're excited about is unlocking the circular economy opportunities. In the law, for example, we're exploring making it mandatory for you to sort your waste at source. But in order to do that, if you're sorting your waste, and I know many of the people listening to us today actually do sort their waste, and then they experience challenges with collection of that sorted waste. Yeah. So that's one of the infrastructure that we need to provide. We need to be able to collect your sorted recyclables on a separate day from your bulk waste that's destined for the landfill.
Very important.
So in order to do that, and then we are also looking for ways to provide incentives for you. That means you make money for the sorted waste that you've collected. I can tell you that in Lagos, our estimate of the value of the circular economy is about $2.5 billion. And we believe that we can unlock that value by applying best principles and creating the necessary infrastructure. So we're excited about that, and this is going to form part of the public discussion in the next few months. We want people to contribute to this so that they can embrace it. Like we say, you can't shave someone's head in their absence. So if the public is engaged in this conversation, we want people to contribute into the new law so that we'll have greater compliance and greater participation when we eventually implement it.
Okay, so this unlocking should be very alacrity and urgent. Well, you mentioned earlier that the man whose under was found at the Lagos Island dumping waste at a very popular landmark is serving jail term, and I'm wondering, is arrest and jail term, deterring enough, as opposed to some suggestions that It should be serving maybe public service,
community service.
For community service, where he's uniformed in a particular way, publicly carrying out his term, as opposed to just sitting with other criminals and maybe
learning more bad things,
getting worse.
Yes, you're correct. We actually, the majority of those who are found guilty are engaged in community service.
Okay.
But we leave the magistrates to decide what the sentence will be. And I believe because this particular offense was so egregious, I mean, Tinubu Square, Tinubu Fountain, these are historic landmarks. I don't think we should be defacing those locations no matter what. And he brought his car there in the middle of the night to dump the waste. So I think that should be frowned upon. I think the sentence is appropriate. But yes, we do have a lot of offenders.
What do you think was going through his head? I mean,
I can't.
Why Tinubu Square? Why the fountain?
So, you know, I don't know. I can't pretend to know. I have my suspicions, but...
so maybe you need to, in addition, some people need psychoanalysis or something.
Evaluation.
So yeah, you know, that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. I think maybe we need to start taking some of these offenders for psychiatric analysis.
Yes.
Psychiatric
evaluation.
The entire half of Lagos population will end up needing
in fact,
proper mental.
Yeah. Like
we are going through a whole lot. Are coming from a lot.
I'm the coach here, so I'm
like
not among. I will do the psych evaluation for you people.
I want to ask you about the land fields. Olushosun is an eyesore. There's been improvements, we must say. However, there is a huge room for more improvement. And there are many landmines like that the development of Lagos and the successfulness of Lagos management has gotten so close to the land fields that they can no longer function there. So some are being shut down, and there are reports that the shutting down of the landfill is what is leading to the challenge with PSP, because PSPs now have to drive a longer distance to dump their waste, and so it's clogging up the system. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Yes, I believe you're referring to the Solus 3 landfill at Igondo, which is just as much of an eyesore as Olushosun.
Yes.
And also happens to be right beside Alimosho General Hospital and abutting a thriving community. And we made the decision that this location is a public health hazard. And as a matter of fact, we reopened a small material recovery facility right next to that dump site as an alternative for the PSP operators. And as of today, about 20 to 25 trucks can dump in that facility every day. And we still allow some trucks to enter the dump site, but only at night, just to relieve some of the pressure. Some of those trucks are so old that they can't make the trip to the alternative sites at Badagry. And even at the Badagry site, we have issues because of the not in my backyard phenomenon. Nobody wants a landfill in their community. And because Lagos is so small in terms of landmass, we have limited locations where we can put a landfill. And that's why we've embarked on construction of a more modern system of managing waste. From the center of the city, we'll have transfer loading stations, one at Olushosun and one at Solus 3, the one I just talked about in Igodo. And from those locations, we can take bulk waste in trailers to the new material recovery facilities in Ikorodu and Badagry, where that waste can be sorted, the organic waste to be converted into compost, the plastics will be taken out and used to manufacture waste bins, which we can distribute free to residents. The metals will be taken out as well, and whatever is left, which will be about 10% of the original volume, will be buried in a engineered landfill on the same location. These are 42 to 50 hectare sites.
Okay, is there a possibility of converting this waste to power?
Absolutely. In fact, we have a pilot project now at Ikosi Fruit Market in Ketu, where we are converting fruit waste, rotten pineapples, rotten watermelons, into biogas, which is used to power a generator that powers lights for the market. And in addition, some of it is used for cooking as well. So it's a small biodigester that can take about 500 kilograms a day, 1 ton. You can see the operation on your camera. And we want to replicate this to every market in Lagos that generates large volumes of organic waste. As you know, we have a lot of problems with waste management in our markets. So this is a modern model that we've piloted successfully. It's going to be launched next month. What you're seeing is the testing. We're going through testing and training of the staff. And we're also going to introduce this to communities around the state so that they, not just the solid organic waste, but even liquid organic waste in some cases can be used in situ in the community to produce biogas that can power that community. So that they're basically modular waste to energy plants. So we must think differently and we must innovate in order for us to solve these solutions. And I believe this is something we can all do together. There are opportunities. Many of those listening to me have they're very passionate about the environment. And I also encourage you to reach out to the Ministry of Environment, reach out to LAWMA with your ideas and, with your pocketbook, because you can invest and you can make money in the waste sector. And that's why we say waste to wealth.
Awesome. Okay, you had a question.
Yeah, it was the same. I was going to ask because I'd watched, I think Iceland or somewhere, where they turned their waste into electricity. So that was the same.
Yes.
Same question I was.
So the larger scale project, we have a memorandum of understanding with an international firm, Harvest Waste, to build a waste to energy plant at Ekpe. This is a site of one of our closed dump sites. Now that waste to energy plant will take 1,500 to 2,000 tons of waste daily and generate 60 to 80 megawatts of electricity to serve the fast growing free trade zone, the Lekki Free Zone, the Deep Sea Port, the Dangote Refinery, the Lagos Film City, which is a new ongoing development, and the new international airport, the Lekki International Airport. So where the government, Lagos State government is thinking ahead, so that in the new areas like Ibejuleki and Ekpe, we won't have this problem that we have at Olusoso. We'll have modern, clean, sustainable disposal of waste to generate electricity for the businesses in that area.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muyiwa Gbadegesin. We've been talking to the Managing Director and CEO of LAWMA. And thank you for enlightening us. You didn't commit to the date we are going to be seeing new PSP trucks on our roads, but we believe that within this year, you'll come back and tell us when they hit the road and the other projects that you're working on. We hope to see a cleaner Lagos, and we intend to partner with you. Once again, I would say on his behalf, don't drop your waste on the medians. Please don't. Thank you so much for a wonderful show, ladies. Thank you, sir, for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye.